Hi Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your September 16th to the 30th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Sagittarius, September 16th to 30th, 2021, Sagittarius. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Emperor, which is Aries energy. If we have Aries within our natal chart, that's going to be coming through very profoundly at our root. And then we have the Fool. I really like that. It's taking our courage and our strength to begin a journey that we've known we had to walk, but yet have been hesitant to walk. We have the Goddess of Air, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If we're born, no, not on the cusp of anything, if we have air sign energy within our natal chart, that's going to come through very, very powerfully within our inner self. We're going to see that we have a lot to say about things, and Spirit is saying, listen to your mind, listen to your soul, listen to yourself, listen to what you are saying. Because so often we turn off our intuition. We say, you know what, there's a lot going on, there's a lot that I need to focus on. I cannot focus on this, or how do I even know that this intuition is intuition or something valuable to listen to? It leads us then to the Guardian. Now the Guardian is the star in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So this is Aquarius energy. If we have Aquarius energy within our natal chart, that's coming through very powerfully within our inner selves, is amplified because air is what represents Aquarius in the minor arcana. The star is what represents Aquarius in the major arcana. So this part here is really focusing on being able to address, say, speak, live our dreams. It moves us to our emotional self. We have the Ace of Cups. God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe is sending us a gift to cleanse away our hurt, our pain, our disappointment, to cleanse away a lot of the heaviness within the heart. And it moves us to the Ten of Wands. It moves us to a place where we're starting to see that we've carried too much and we need to release that. We then have the Two of Wands. There's more out there than meets the eye. There really is. There's more that we're going to be succeeding in and going after than meets the eye. It leads us to the Ace of Pentacles, another gift from divinity. This time, not focusing on the emotions, which is really lovely that this is at the heart, but it's focusing on our finances, our wealth, what we value as much as money. And it's wonderful that this gift is of the Ace of Pentacles is in the public arena. This is going to be a time where we start to see our prosperity, our wealth, our success coming together, leading us forward, moving us in a way that we find to be inspiring, a little bit overwhelming at times, but we see to be linked to something bigger than we could have imagined. Now let's see the energy we need to be mindful of. Let me just look at my camera for just a moment. Sorry, guys. It's going to move. Okay, I think that's better. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. This is the Queen of Pentacles, Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. All right, if we're born on the cusp of Capricorn, we have to be mindful of this part of our personality coming out, not in a positive way, but in a negative way. So when we say a negative Queen of Pentacles, because this is the energy we need to be mindful of, it's not going to be filled with the blessings and the butterflies and the ponies that we want it to be. We need to be mindful of being solely concerned of the happenings of this earth, which we could think, okay, well, that's a really good thing. We want to know what's happening with the earth. But it's not with the well-being of our planet. It's with, how can I get ahead? What does everybody else see as success? What is trending now? How can I move forward? How am I in competition with everybody else? We need to step back from that. As a Sagittarius, when we're in our element, we connect with people beautifully, and we dive deep into questions and solutions and wonderment in a way that most people can't. And so here we have to be very mindful of saying, you know what, sometimes the things that are worth their weight in gold to me are not gold. And that's going to be very important. We also have to be mindful that even though some people we might think, oh wow, if I'm just hanging out with them enough, if I just follow what they say enough, I'll get all the information and be able to move forward. Spirit is saying here, be very mindful of who you surround yourself with and the energy vibration, because our own intuition, spirit is going to tell us when we need to step away. And sometimes during this time, we're going to need to step away. We're going to need to say, you know what? That's not for me. That's not the place that I need to be. These aren't the people I need to surround myself with. It moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Now, these two cards came up, and they are both the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below our feet. This is a connection with the earth, and we need to look at how our connection with the earth is nourishing us. This could be through grounding, connecting with the earth, going outside in bare feet or barefoot shoes, and connecting with the earth, which might sound a little silly, but it is astounding. It is really, 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 really beautiful. As we nourish our connection with the earth, our connection with our bodies, our connection with our souls, it leads us to grounding. How are our roots going into the soil? Are they just skimming the top? Do we have very shallow roots, kind of like a willow? A willow has very shallow roots. Or do we have roots like an oak that go very deep? We have to look at ourselves and say, what is it that I'm building? What is it that I want? And where is it that I want to be? Now, having shallow roots or deep roots, we can think, oh my gosh, I don't want the shallow roots, I don't want the deep roots. They serve different purposes at different times. We have to look also at how the soil is nourishing us. Do we have enough water? Are we, planting an oak tree in cactus soil? Or are we, planting a cactus in, oak tree soil? How are we taking care of ourselves? How are we knowing where we stand and what we are? How are we grounding ourselves to the earth and nourishing ourselves, our souls, who we once were, who we will be, who we are now? It moves us to the Emperor. And the Emperor is claiming our throne, is claiming a power we might never have known we had. There's a fierceness to us. There's going to be at our root a sense of, I'm not backing down. Now this plays off of our fire sign energy, which kind of is like, I'm not backing down anyway. So we might have to be a little bit more mindful about this, like kind of step back and say, okay, what is worth my energy and what isn't? When we claim our throne, we claim the power of our voice, the intuition of ourselves, our determination, our focus, our insights, our ideas, our ideals. And it moves us to the Fool. It moves us to, as we claim this power, as we start to see even the power within ourselves, we let ourselves be ourselves and not needing to be the expectations of others, not needing to live up to anybody else's expectations or desires or wants or needs, but simply saying, this is me. quirky, different, avant-garde, or, whatever. This is me. And we need to stop looking at what everybody else thinks and claim our throne. Because the emperor who sits there and questions himself every 5 seconds and tries to live for everybody else but himself is not emperor for long. It moves us to the fool. It moves us to going on a journey, embracing an unknown that we need to embrace, to say, this is my first step forward. This is what I need to do for me. Now, some people's fool's journeys are very inward. They're very introverted. They're very, psychological. They need to follow their own journey this way. Others are very extroverted. They need to follow their journey by going outside of themselves, and jumping. Sometimes we need to go inside of ourselves and jump. So we need to know what type of person we are. We need to know what we want and what we desire and what we need to accomplish within our lives. This then moves us to this place that says, in order to be the hero of my story, I need to embrace who I am, what I want, and not be afraid to make a fool out of myself. As we do this, in our inner self, we really start to value the power of our voice, the power of what we are creating, what we are weaving from our own hands, how we are cultivating our word and our world. There's going to be a time here when we question our world and our word. We question what it is that we're moving for and what it is that we want and where it is that we're headed. And questioning is good. Buddha said, question everyone, even me. But what we can't do is let ourselves, oh goodness, I keep on kicking this, live in such doubt and fear that we become overwhelmed, that all we are questions, all we are insecurities and doubts and corruptions of our own power. So as we embrace what we are weaving, as we look at what we desire, as we claim the power of our voice, the power of our stories, the power of our dreams, because that is all we have. In the end, we are simply a collaboration of our stories, of the way that we have lived, the emotions that we have had, and the passions that we have shared. It moves us then to the Guardian, which is representative of the star in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is a time where we guard what is most sacred to us, and we have come around us that which is intrinsic to who we are. When we look up at the starry night sky and we make a wish on a star, we wish for what we want in that moment. What Spirit is looking at is what we want within our lifetime, what we desire, hope for, and guide ourselves towards. This is going to be a time where we are protecting others, yes, but others that we might not even look at. We might not even think of as protectors in a spiritual way. We can be like, oh, this is a big watchdog. They're going to protect me this way. But we might not see them as healers of our hearts and, aligners of our soul. This is going to be a time where we will find that even just by listening to the birds sing in the trees, we are guarded in a way that we had overlooked, that we hadn't thought to connect ourselves with. And that's why the Earth Star Chakra is going to be so important during this time, to be able to ground us, to be able to nurture us, to be able to have us move forward. Because we have the Ace of Cups. And this is, again, God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of love, of healing, of washing away the heaviness of our hearts and our souls, looking at the corruptions that have held us back, that have denied us, that have kept us overwhelmed, and saying enough is enough. Now it is time for me to embrace what I love, what I want, and where I want to be heading within my life. It moves us to the 10 of Wands. As our hearts are being cleansed and our hearts are really aligning, the gifts that divinity gives us are aligning with each sphere of being. It's not like we have the Ace of Pentacles here, where we're going to find that wealth really comes from our emotions. What we have is the Ace of Pentacles in the public arena. Wealth comes from a public arena forum sort of way, comes from an acquiring way. The Ace of Cups is within our heart. So this gift of love, this gift of healing, comes in an emotional way, in an emotional space. We can find ourselves to be a bit more emotional during this time, a bit more sensitive. There's nothing wrong with that. It moves us to the 10 of Wands. We've been carrying too much. And by us obtaining and understanding the sensitivity, being more connected with what we can do, what we can't do, how we need to move forward, how we need to be kind to ourselves, we start to look at the burdens that we've carried for too long, or the labels that we've carried for too long that no longer suit us, that no longer fit us. What is the negativity that was spoken over us that kept us held back? And what is it that we think, oh, if I just put more on my plate, more on my plate, more on my plate, if I just keep on doing more, everybody will be happy. Everything will end up right. Here's the thing. You can't live another person's life lessons for them. You just can't. This is a time where we realize that. And we start to say, I'm trying to hold on to too much. I get to embrace me and my passions and my desires. So we're carrying now a lot less, emotionally, spiritually. It leads us to the Two of Wands. The world opens up. We start to see ourselves moving forward, wanting to move forward, wanting to go after something greater and bigger and more powerfully and purposefully us. We also start to wonder if the world was as terrifying as we thought it was. And we can get a little bit angry at ourselves during this time here, Sagittarius, so do be mindful of this. Where it's like, wow, I can't believe I wasted so much time being afraid. I can't believe I wasted so much time doing something that I despised, wallowing away in XYZ. And now, or a bad relationship or whatever. And now we're starting to say, you know what, no, this shaped me in a very specific way. This had me gain insight and ideas that I would never have had before. And now I'm moving forward with more confidence within the world because I've already faced down a hell that was overwhelming and overbearing to me. It moves us to the Ace of Pentacles. Prosperity, success, bounty, abundance. Remember, the dung beetle was sacred to the ancient Egyptians. They saw it as a symbol of the way the sun moved across the sky. The dung beetle would start by taking a little piece of dung and rolling it all day long until it became big. And then they would just abandon it, as we abandon each day into night and into slumber. And so there is something beautiful to this. It's like as we grow our wealth and prosperity, do we abandon it to look for the next best thing? Do we keep it to the side to say, I see that I created you. I see that I created you in tandem with spirit, with divinity, with my emotional power and understanding forward. I see that I am opening up this door. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And this is the Lord. So the Lord blesses us here, the Emperor. And we have to be mindful of it here. Because we have this drawer and this lure to power. We're going to be really wanting to align with what is powerful, what is forceful, what is determined. We're going to think the louder the person that can be, the better they are, the more that they know. That's not necessarily going to be the case. Be very mindful of how we claim the throne. Be very mindful of how we claim the authority within our lives. Is it going to be kind of like a child pretending to be an adult with that sense of rudeness and brashness and clumsiness? Do we have to learn how to stand in power? And with those in power around us, do we have to see them for who they are? Maybe not an all-knowing person, but a person who is trying their best and who can make mistakes along the way. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, which is inspiration. This is the Sacral Chakra, and I love the Sacral Chakra because it's complex. It's where a lot of negative energy is held from this life and from past lives, but it is also the place where sexual and creative energy is held. And who doesn't want to have, who doesn't want to be more in tune or have a better creative, way of looking at things and a better sex life? I mean, seriously, come on. So here, with the inspiration, we need to look at the hurts and the pains from this life and the hurts and the pains from our previous lives and say, I am moving forward in inspiration and in desire. I'm not being held back by shadows that are trying to strangle me, but I'm turning my face towards the light and I'm embracing the endless possibility that is me. It moves us to our subconscious rooted message, and that's death, the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. We start to see ourselves reborn. We start to see the power that we are taking hold of, the new path that we are walking down. This becomes a defining moment of, I am reclaiming something intrinsically and powerfully important to me. I am walking forward in a way that guides me, that inspires me, that has me changed. And sometimes the death card can represent a small change. Like, oh my gosh, I read something or I heard something and it absolutely inspired me and now everything is changing because of it. But it can also be a traumatic change where we have to mourn the person that we were and rejoice or come to the understanding of the person we are now. And that in a lot of ways, they are completely different people. It moves us to our subconscious inner self. And that is the goddess of fire. That's us, as the goddess, tending the cauldron, creating the potion, embracing our prosperity and sacrifice and determination and focus. This is the reason why we get out of bed in the morning. This is our beauty and our instincts and our desires. This is the fire within us coming forward, being the guardian, merging with the air. Fire and air, beautiful way of coming together. If there is air, it can feed the fire. But if there is no air, there will be no fire. And so, as we claim our words and our voice and our powerful understanding, we claim something beautiful within us, something really harmoniously breathtaking in the coming together of the Queen of Air and the Goddess of Air and the Goddess of Fire. We claim a voice, we claim a passion, we claim a way forward that is tremendous. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self. And that is the Four of Swords. We have to mourn the hurt, the pain, the disappointment that we have been through, and understand that it is not weak to mourn, but it is a show of tremendous strength to understand that we have been on an emotional healing, an emotional cleansing, and now we are releasing so much baggage that is not a part of us anymore and doesn't get to define us. The Four of Swords says mourn. The Four of Swords says respect the journey. It's not simply the destination that matters that we tend to think it is. It's the journey that's everything. Our subconscious public arena self is the star. Coming through, once again, we had it come through with the Guardian, representative of the star, in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And now we have it as the star here. Our light is shining forward. We're being called towards something greater. We have the pearl coming out, wealth, out of annoyance, because that's how a pearl is made, by a piece of sand that gets caught in an oyster's mouth, and it irritates that oyster to death as it coats it with more mucus and more mucus, finally forming a pearl. Beauty comes out of struggle, out of doubt, and also out of darkness. And now, as the pearl opens, as the light is seen, as the lasting light of the lighthouse shines, we see the wealth and the prosperity that is built when we weren't looking, or that is guided by our thoughts and our dreams and our wishes, and is saying, go after it. Don't be foolish, and quit your job and run away to join the circus, and not have a financial plan, because having no money is very stressful. But start to align. Start to align with things that inspire you. Start to align with the way that you have overcome obstacles. And you will start to see that your energy vibration raises and rises until you can't believe where you stand and what's coming to you. All right, Sagittarius. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power that is to come. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Sagittarius.